Attention passionate Buffalo, BILLSFANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Buffalo Bills' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Buffalo Bills fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Buffalo, BILLSFANS. Let's get to the news all right. Bills Mafia, buckle up because what's happening in the AFC East right now is nothing short of seismic. Rumors are swirling that the Baltimore Ravens, currently sitting at a 5-5 record but facing some serious cap constraints, about $13 million to be precise, are exploring a blockbuster trade that could shake up the entire division. And the centerpiece of this speculation, none other than Kyle Hamilton, the Ravens' versatile safety who's been turning heads across the league, is being floated as a trade target for the Bills. Now I know what you're thinking. Is this real? Or just another rumor? Well, we've seen enough to believe that the NFL offseason is always full of surprises, and this one seems to have some legs. Let's break down what this really means, why it makes sense, and how it could potentially change the game for Buffalo. First off, Kyle Hamilton isn't just any safety. He's a top-tier, all-pro caliber player who has been making waves since entering the league. Drafted by the Ravens in 2022, Hamilton has shown he can do it all. A true Falcon on the field, as some analysts have described him, capable of flying all over the field and making plays that shift the momentum. Over his 4-year career, he's accumulated more than 200 tackles, 8 sacks, 5 interceptions, and has been a vital part of Baltimore's defense. His PFF grade has consistently hovered around 88. 2, a number that speaks volumes about his reliability and elite skill set. His coverage success rate of 75%, combined with an EPA of -0. 16 versus the pass shows he's not just a big hitter but also a smart, coverage-minded safety. In 2025, Hamilton's numbers continue to impress. Despite some injuries, he missed a few games in 2025, but when he's on the field, he's producing like a top 10 safety across all metrics. He's racked up 32 solo tackles in just 9 games with 27 assists and has been a menace in the run game with a sack and some sack yards. His coverage grades are still top-notch with an overall PFF rating of 88, 3, and a pass rush score of 92, 5. The guy is a turnover machine. Think Minkah Fitzpatrick's impact when he was with the Steelers, or Derwin James in Lowe's Angels. Hamilton is that kind of game wrecker. His ability to generate turnovers, projected to add 3 more INTs for the season, is exactly what the Bills need to boost their secondary and create more chaos for opposing offenses. Now, why would Baltimore consider trading Hamilton? Well, cap space is a big factor. Moving Hamilton could free up around $10 million in cap room, which the Ravens desperately need to focus on extending Lamar Jackson, rebuilding their offensive line, and shoring up other areas, including the wide receiver core, which is also a priority. The Ravens' defense, while solid, allowing about 25 points per game, has some weaknesses, especially on third downs, where they're only converting at about 40%. Plus, Baltimore's secondary has been hit by injuries, with Marcus Williams and others stepping in but not quite matching Hamilton's level of play. Trading away Hamilton might seem risky, but it could be a strategic move to rebuild their cap and focus on a long-term plan centered around Lamar Jackson and a more balanced attack. On the other hand, the Bills are in a different situation. Sitting at 7-4 with a shot at the playoffs and a division that's still very much winnable, they're desperately looking for ways to upgrade their secondary. The Bills' defense has been decent but not elite, allowing about 22.9 points per game, and their secondary has been a target for opposing offenses. The addition of Hamilton with his elite PFF coverage grade of 88, 3, and a coverage success rate of 75% could dramatically elevate their pass defense. If he joins Buffalo, he could be a game changer, especially considering the current injuries in their secondary, like Taylor Rapp, who's sidelined with a concussion, and Damar Hamlin, who's been nursing an IR shoulder injury. Hamilton could step in immediately and provide that extra spark, that extra layer of security, and the ability to force turnovers at crucial moments. Imagine this. Hamilton, paired with Rasul Douglas, who's been a solid addition, could push the Bills' pass defense into the top 10 in the league. That's not just talk. Stats support this. His projected plus 40 tackles remaining this season, along with a plus 20% increase in EPA versus pass, could reduce opponent passing yards from 220 yards per game down to around 170. That's a massive difference. Plus, he'd help limit the big plays, something the Bills have struggled with at times, cutting those explosive gains to a more manageable level. His ability to generate turnovers, an additional 3 INTs projected, could provide the Bills with more short fields and scoring opportunities, especially in tight games down the stretch. And speaking of impact, let's not overlook how Hamilton's presence could boost the entire secondary's confidence. He's a playmaker, a guy who can come up with the big interception in critical moments, and his PFF grade of 88. 3, especially in coverage, shows he can handle the top receivers. His deep coverage skills could be particularly useful in neutralizing some of the AFC East's most dangerous weapons, like Tua Tagovailoa and the Dolphins' explosive passing game. Think about the potential for Hamilton to be an X-factor in the playoffs. Imagine him intercepting a Tua pass in a high-stakes game, flipping the momentum and possibly sealing a win for Buffalo. Now, the ripple effects of this trade go beyond just improving the secondary. The Bills' defense, which currently allows around 20 points per game, could see a significant boost, pushing that number even lower. That kind of improvement could turn the Bills into a true AFC juggernaut, especially with their offense firing on all cylinders. Remember, this season they've been led by Josh Allen, who's been phenomenal, but football is a team game, and defense wins championships. Adding a player like Hamilton would send a message to the rest of the league that Buffalo isn't just content to compete. They're here to dominate. But let's be real, nothing is ever guaranteed in the NFL, especially with cap restrictions and roster considerations. The Ravens might be hesitant to give up such a talented player, especially since Hamilton is still young and has a lot of room to grow. Plus, Baltimore's management might prefer to focus on their long-term rebuild around Lamar Jackson and their offensive line, which needs some serious upgrades. Still, the potential benefits for Buffalo are huge. The Bills could fill a critical gap in their secondary, and with Hamilton's ability to make game-changing plays, he could be the final piece to push Buffalo over the top in the AFC. Of course, fans are already speculating about the logistics. What draft picks would be involved? Would the Ravens want a second-rounder in 2026, as some rumors suggest? And how would the Bills structure the deal to make it work under the salary cap? These are questions only time will answer, but the possibility alone has fans buzzing. It's the kind of move that could define the Bills' season, especially if they're looking to make a serious push in the playoffs and beyond. And let's not forget the broader context. The AFC East is shaping up to be a brutal division, with the Dolphins and Jets also competing fiercely. Securing a player like Hamilton, who could neutralize some of the league's most dangerous offenses, might be exactly what the Bills need to gain that edge. The defense has been solid but not spectacular, and adding a playmaker of Hamilton's caliber could elevate the entire unit, making Buffalo a nightmare for any quarterback trying to find open receivers. So what's the bottom line here? If this trade goes through, it's not just a win for the Bills, it's a statement to the entire league. It shows that Buffalo is willing to make bold moves to push all in for a Super Bowl run and to leave no stone unturned in their quest for greatness. Hamilton's versatility, combined with the Bills' existing talent and their aspirations, could make this a match made in football heaven. The AFC East might be in for a shakeup, and Bills fans should be ready for an exciting, unpredictable ride ahead. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Buffalo Bills news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, the Bills are in a position to capitalize on any opportunity that could push them closer to their ultimate goal, a Super Bowl. With Josh Allen leading the charge and a defense that's hungry for more consistency, adding a player like Kyle Hamilton could be the final piece in a puzzle that has been slowly coming together since the start of the season. It's easy to get caught up in the hype, but the truth is, the NFL is all about making strategic moves, and if Buffalo can pull this off, it could be a game changer not just for this season, but for years to come. Imagine the energy around Highmark Stadium when Hamilton takes the field for the Bills for the first time. The crowd would go wild knowing they've got a true game wrecker in their secondary, a player who can make the big play when it counts most. That's the kind of spark that can ignite a playoff run, And in a league where every possession counts, having someone who can come up with turnovers, shut down top receivers, and provide leadership from the back end is priceless. Of course, there are questions about how this fits into the Bills' salary cap and whether they're willing to part with draft capital for a player who could be a cornerstone for years. But if the price is right and the fit is perfect, this could be one of those moves that define a franchise's season. And if you're a Bills fan, you should be excited about the possibilities. The AFC is stacked, but with the right moves, Buffalo can position itself as the team to beat. In the end, football is a game of inches, plays, and bold decisions. The potential trade for Kyle Hamilton is exactly the kind of move that can tip the scales in Buffalo's favor. The defense, the secondary, the turnovers, everything could align perfectly with Hamilton in the fold. It's a high-stakes game of chess, and right now, the Bills are looking to make a move that could change everything. Stay tuned, because the coming weeks will be critical. And now, Buffalo Bills fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Bills. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Buffalo Bills news. Thanks for sticking with us, and as always, go Bills.